Israel's Negev desert, a land of searing heat, dry, barren, and yet ruggedly beautiful. A place where Abraham, Isaac and Jacob walked, where Moses and the children of Israel wandered, and allotted to the tribes of Judah and Shimon. Today it makes up 60% of the modern state of Israel, and it is still a land of wonders. My name is Professor Simon Barak from Ben Gurion University, and I'm standing here in Midreshet Ben Gurion, overlooking the spectacular wilderness of Zin. And I'm standing right by the graves of Israel's first Prime Minister, David Ben Gurion, and his wife Paula. And this is really fitting, because it was Ben Gurion's vision to settle and develop the Negev and make the desert bloom. I have with us one of your students, Noam Reshef, who's just at the end of his PhD, and we're going to talk to him now about some of his work that he's doing in this actual vineyard. How did you get interested in winemaking?
Well, I went to New Zealand after my army service for my big trip, and I was hitchhiking in the middle of nowhere when a vineyard owner picked me up. After a long ride together, he offered me to stay with him and help him out in the field, and I did. It was short, but it inspired me for the future.
So you're saying just by chance, you're in the middle of New Zealand,
Definitely,
and just happens that a vineyard owner comes to pick you up, and that is what inspired you to go into winemaking?
True story.
Amazing. So you came back to Israel and you did your first degree
I came
in
back
what?
to Israel. I did my bachelor's in biochemistry and food science, went to work in a winery in the Golan Heights.
Wow.
And then I straight headed to France to do my master's in viticulture and enology.
And then you came back to Israel to do your PhD?
Yes, this was the plan, to learn the knowledge there and implement it here in Israel.
So Noam, I know that you've been doing a lot of research in your PhD. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing?
Yeah, well, it's not a secret that warm climate viticulture is associated with inferior wines. But we can't change the climate, so what we can change is maybe the fruit microclimate. And this we can do by mainly regulating the amount of sunlight penetrating the fruit.
So what you're talking about is the actual climate around each individual berry?
Yeah, exactly. The microclimate, the conditions that are sensed by each berry. Most of what we did is apply shading nets and see how it affects the grape composition, and we have state-of-the-art metabolic profiling techniques to really see all the compounds that are in the grape that are involved in the quality of the wine. And now we are also collaborating with a local winery, working on a new trellis that will create this partial shading by the leaves and not by shading nets.
So you're actually going to cause the plants to grow to shade their own berries?
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing.
I believe that Israel can become a leader in the adaptation of viticulture to climate change.
Noam, thank you so much for coming to speak to us. It's been amazing to hear what you're doing, and I believe that you and Aaron are going to take us now to what I think is going to be one of my favourite parts of the day. So why don't you lead on?
Okay.
Let's go. Oh wow, Aaron, this is absolutely amazing. What a surprise. Absolutely amazing. So, what are we drinking?
Well, it is a Merlot from a little aged from 2012 from Carmel of Dat, a local winery.
Excellent, excellent. Aaron, what can be better than sitting in the middle of the Negev desert, drinking wine from the Negev? L'chaim!
Cheers!
Native or natural pathogen is a very big advantage.
Right.
So actually we are very famous for our disease-free and for our biosecurity, unlike farms that close to natural fish habitat.
Right. How did this all start? You said to me you were from Tel Aviv.
I'm from Ramat Gan, and this is my hobby since I was a child. I came down to the Arava because that time there was a huge support and the help, and that's how I built amazing farm, one of the most successful farm worldwide.
Ran, this is an absolutely incredible operation you've got here. So what type of fish are you growing?
Actually, we grow ornamental fish, and we grow freshwater prawns, Malaysian prawns. The prawns we export to Far East, China, Vietnam, Malaysia. The ornamental we produce mainly for the Western countries like West Europe, North America, South Africa, but in general we sell all over the world.
How much fish are you producing a year? I mean, it's a huge place, this.
We produce millions of fish per month. We are one of the biggest farms in the world for ornamental.
Is much of the technology here a technology that you've developed yourself, and what was that we saw coming across?
So we use feeders, robot feeders that we developed by ourselves with Kibbutz Samar that feed our greenhouse constantly during the day, about 20 times per day, automatically. It's helped us to feed with very low cost.
As far as water is concerned, you know, when somebody thinks about doing things in the desert, they're not necessarily going to think of growing fish, which is using water. So your water use is compared to others. What is that like?
We recycle 100% of the water. First of all, all our fish farm is a biosecure system that consume only 5 to 10% water change per day. And the water that go out from our systems, we irrigate all year round the water through a dates farm. We have a very good relation with all the university in Israel, especially with the Ben-Gurion University. We have a very interesting collaboration with the Professor Dina Zilberg, and also we have an amazing project collaboration with the Professor Amir Sagi.
In this lab, we focus on research related to fish health. We carry out research on various disease-causing agents, parasites, bacteria. We are also looking at fish immunology, studying the fish immune system. We provide diagnostic services to aquaculture farms around the country. And one of our main themes is looking for natural alternatives for chemicals and antibiotics that are used in aquaculture. We are looking for various plants and extracts of plants that can replace those chemicals. We are also looking for natural treatments that can immunostimulate the fish, boost their immune system. We are using a lot of algae in the food for that. That's one of the main ways by which we stimulate the fish, looking for unique microalgae that can be added to the food and make the fish stronger.
I was fascinated to see that Ran is also growing millions of male prawns, and I was even more intrigued to see his workers injecting tiny prawn fry, and to learn that they were injecting them with an agent to silence a gene producing a hormone for male organs. Therefore, the injected male prawns develop female reproductive organs and can mate with regular male prawns to produce an all-male population, which are much larger than the females. So we went to see the Ben-Gurion University scientists who invented this technology to find out more about it.
We discovered a insulin-like hormone that is responsible for maleness. We understood that if we silence the gene that is encoding this hormone, and this is exactly what we do, and now Ran is doing it, in order to produce the brood stock that at the end is producing only males. And then you increase the yield. And we realized that could be a game changer in the industry. Because we are talking about a huge market of, in this specific prawn, about 400,000 tons, and mostly in China and Vietnam. The Chinese market is the largest in the world, and we are talking here about traditional food. It's not an item that you eat in the restaurant once a year. This is their natural food, so it is a very significant part of their diet. Since the animals are all male and non-breeding, we could use them for biocontrol tasks